I love spiral sliced ham. Man, I've been cooking those things for years.
It's like
they turn out perfect every single time. I've done them with all kinds of different flavors. This one's good. If you like it now, it is hot honey, but it's not spicy.
it wasn't too spicy.
No, it gives it just enough. And I think, I noticed this cooking ribs too. Once those sugars that mix with the juices and the fat that's rendering on the meat, it tones down the heat level. So you can get away with something a little spicy and it's still going to be fairly, very mild when it comes out. Cause this ham I was thinking, man, I put hot rub on it. I put the hot honey in the glaze, a pretty good bit. Like, I don't know. I said a half cup. I didn't really measure it. Y'all saw.
Got a good squeeze.
I just squeezed it a bunch of it off in there. And I was like, hey, this might be a little warm, but it wasn't at all. I mean, we ate on that ham a week.
Welcome to Malcom Reed's How to Barbecue Right, a podcast where we talk about barbecue, share recipes, and discuss all things delicious. And now, here's your host, Malcom and Rochelle Reed.
Hey, welcome back to the How to Barbecue Right podcast. I'm your host, Malcom Reed, joined by my lovely, talented wife, Miss Southern Shell, over by the big blue plate sign, and Tyler over here running the board. How's everybody doing today?
Good.
Great.
Real quick, I wanted to, I don't know if we've talked about it on the podcast, but we are having a taco contest here at the shop.
And Margarita.
At Margarita, Taco and Margarita, May 8th. Is that right?
Hey.
Did I
No,
get
that
that right?
can't
No,
be right.
May 3rd.
May 3rd. Saturday, May
3rd.
3rd.
All the information, if you'd like to enter it. We're giving $1,000 for first place taco.
So is it your best taco?
It could be whatever.
But you probably got to make multiple because there's multiple.
You have to
judges.
turn
You
in
can't just
6.
come in with one.
You have to turn in a minimum of 6 tacos.
Okay.
And then the margarita contest, the winner gets $200.
So you can smooth, if you got a rockin' margarita and a delicious taco, you can come away with $1,200.
You can.
Easy.
And I think they're capped at like 20 or 20. Is it
Yeah, it's 20 spots.
20 spots? So man, y'all want to get in.
And
What's it cost to get in it?
$50.
For both?
Just like $50 gets you into both categories.
Oh, you can't beat that.
I know.
Heck, I can go buy some Wasiesto tacos, turn it into what?
And I usually have breakfast for everybody.
Yeah. Well, good. Well, yeah, y'all come on out. I think there's a few spots still left. For that one. So if anybody wants to enter, it's May the 3rd here at Malcom Shop in beautiful Hernando, Mississippi, 496 Whitfield Drive. Y'all get signed up. Now, I don't know how you sign up. You got to go to the Malcom Shop Facebook page, or you got to call Austin, or
Yeah, so we have a...
Don't call Austin.
Don't call
you
Austin.
want me to give his phone number out?
You
Call
can.
Austin. He likes calls after 9 p.m. preferably.
You can come up to the shop, and we have applications up here, and you can pay your application fee here. Or if you go to Malcom Shop Facebook page, we have a QR code that you can scan, and then the bit.ly link in one of the top pinned posts, and it gives all the information on how to sign up. And
There's a
all
link
that.
that'll get you there
Yeah.
for your application.
So what else is going on?
We got the hot honey ham.
Oh, that's for Easter.
Yeah.
Y'all make that because that hot honey ham is hitting. I love spiral sliced ham. Man, I've been cooking those things for years.
It's like
They turn out perfect every single time. I've done them with all kinds of different flavors. This one's good. If you like it now, it is hot honey, but it's not it's not spicy.
it wasn't too spicy.
No, it gives it just enough. And I think, I noticed this cooking ribs too. Whenever you use the hot honey or like a hot glaze in the wrap of a rib, it could be like, I used to use it in contests. What was it? The Texas pepper jelly, rib glaze.
Tiger sauce too.
You used to use and it's a little spicy too.
Yeah.
And that's been something, but you lose that heat. Once those sugars that mix with the juices and the fat that's rendering on the meat, it tones down the heat level. So you can get away with something a little spicy and it's still going to, be fairly, very mild when it comes out. Cause this ham I was thinking, man, I put hot rub on it. I put the hot honey in the glaze, a pretty good bit. Like, I don't know. I said a half cup. I didn't really measure it. Y'all saw.
Got a good squeeze.
I just squeezed it a bunch of it off in there. And I was like, hey, this might be a little warm, but it wasn't at all. I mean, we ate on that ham a week. After Michael loved it, and you thought it was good. Everybody that tried it, Tyler, you said, now I got to talk to you about this. You told me like you love ham, right? For the holidays, any kind of holiday ham, but your family's just not into it.
Nope. If I have to cook a ham for Easter, or if I want to for myself, I cook like the little tiny cryovac ones that you get out of the deli section. But yeah.
The little like quarter ham? Just
yeah.
like a little top muscle?
Tiny ones. But
Yeah, well, you gotta. So here's the deal, man. Do you a spiral ham? Get you a vacuum sealer. Cut that dude up, man. It makes I'll cook when I cook them. I usually cook 2 or 3 because we'll throw it in, we'll break it down and freeze it, and they thaw out so well. You just warm them up in that pack. You know, you can throw it. In
You
the
don't even have to warm them up. Pull
You
them
can
from
just
the
let 'em thaw.
freezer, throw them in the fridge when you're ready for it, and then
ham sandwiches all the time.
I'll give my mom a pack.
Yeah,
That's genius.
So, do you want to talk about how easy this ham is
I
to
feel like
create?
yes.
So here's the deal, and I'm going to get this question when we release this video. I get it every single time. Is this a raw ham? And no, it's not. This is the kind you go to your local grocery store. They have them. Some places have them year round, but most of the time around the major holidays, Christmas, Thanksgiving, Easter, you're going to see a case full of these spiral hams, and they come with little glaze packs, and there might be a brown sugar one. There might be a honey one. There's all different.
This one came with like a bacon and
that was kind of weird.
Some kind of crumble.
Yeah, you picked that one up. It was supposed to be a brown sugar bacon ham.
Yeah.
And when I open these hams up, you bring them home, throw them in the refrigerator, open them up, and they always have a glaze pack or something. And this one had all that. It had a pack of crumbled Smithfield bacon. And I was like,
it didn't look good. Yeah.
It did. Yeah. I was
didn't
like,
look
I don't
like
know about it. I'm not putting, if I'm going to put I did like that idea. So,
bacon crust.
Bacon
crusted ham.
How good is that? It didn't look too good.
That is a good idea.
But I throw that away, and then you take them wherever you want. So with this one.
So the what's labeled on the actual package, there's no actual flavor to the ham. It's just
plain ham.
That's just what glaze packet they threw in there.
Yeah. But they do use different smokes in some of them. Like, so you got to watch it. Most of the ones we see are hickory smoked already. It's a fully cooked, hickory smoked, spiral cut ham. That's a lot of describers, a lot of adjectives. But the key part of that is fully cooked. So technically, that ham's okay. It's okay to eat cold. Yeah, it's like a honey baked ham. When you get them, you got to glaze them. They're fully cooked. And so all I'm doing is warming that ham back up in a smoked environment instead of like the directions say, put it in the oven and, warm it so many hours per pound to get it back to serving temp. You only need to get it to about 140 degrees. That's safe to eat. And so I like to do it on a pit because I can add some more smoke. I'm getting the flavor, of the grill or the pit on it. I can change up the glaze and make it go however I want.
I also think it makes them juicier.
I think it does too. They don't dry out. It doesn't seem to dry out as much on that pit. And I think it's because you're really keeping that temp low, like 250, 275 as high as I let it get. I don't want it to like nuke it. And in the oven, I can't remember the directions say like put it on 300 or 350 or whatever it is, but it always seemed a little high to me.
Because I never liked ham. I always thought it was dry and,
just ham. Yeah.
Ham, until I started having your smoked hams.
And then with this one, so I like to use a little bit of binder on the outside just to get my sugars and stuff to stick really good. But the coating is what really made it good. I took like a cup of brown sugar in a bowl, light brown sugar, and I mixed in about 2-to-1 my hot barbecue rub. So a half a cup of the hot barbecue rub. And so it gave me a little spice. Now, the only thing I will say is watch your salt content on one of these fully cooked hams, because a ham's naturally salty from that curing process anyway. So you don't want to overly salt it. You can get it too salty. The hot rub's not too bad salty-wise. So with the sugar, it toned it down. And once I got all that kind of stirred up, I took Dijon mustard, and you could use regular yellow. You can use whatever you want. You could use no mustard, but I just like the little Dijon. And what it did, once I got that sugar mixed up and I got the outside kind of coated all around with that Dijon, I start sprinkling and patting in that sugar all over the outside of it. The mustard helps that sugar start dissolving. So if you'll notice in the video, once I got my Primo fired up, got it up to 275, kind of a 2-zone style, I put that ham on there and it was all wet looking. It's like all that sugar and the seasonings and the mustard kind of dissolves in and goes away and just kind of slicks the outside of the spiral ham. And so then it's ready to go in the pit. And at this point, all you're doing is warming it up. So
any pit
will work. As long as you can hold that temperature, like 275 or below a little bit, you're going to be perfect. Now, is it going to screw it up if it's 350? Probably not. it could dry it out a little more. It might burn the sugars. And I think that's keeping it low helps that amount of brown sugar not go ahead and burn and over caramelize. Because that's all I'm doing. I'm giving it 2.5 hours at 275. I did throw just one chunk of hickory wood right on the, kind of in between the hot coals and the unlit lump, the roll oak lump I put in there. And I let that just so it would smoke. And I kept the air check back so it didn't just run away from me. And after 2.5 hours, it did start to caramelize a little. It had pretty good color on the outside of it. You could tell it's starting to get dark in spots, and it looked ready to eat right then. I ain't gonna lie.
Yeah, it did.
Did I check the internal temperature? No, because I know it always takes about 3 hours. It always takes about 3 hours to do one of these hams, and they're ready. So after 2.5 hours, the hot honey glaze comes in. So if you'll notice in the video, I only used about half of that sugar mixture. And that's really all you need for the coating part. If you wanted to skip the hot honey part, you could glaze it your own way. Just use half that sugar mixture. Don't try to cake it. You don't want it just caked all on it. That's the best way to put it. So I took that leftover sugar mixture, and I squeezed in all my hot honey, and I added just a splash. And if I had to guess, it's about 2 ounces, about a shot glass full of apple juice, and just stirred it up with a fork. I didn't heat it up. I'm not trying to bring it to a boil or anything like that.
Kind of look like a caramel.
Yeah,
before you cook it.
It dissolves the sugar. You just want to stir it enough and have enough apple juice in there to where it's not just super thin. But the sugar dissolves, but you can still tell it's a little grainy. We're fixing to fix that though with the heat. So I took a brush and I had that mixed up good, and I just brushed it all over the outside surface of that spiral ham, and then closed the lid 30 minutes. You got to watch it at this point though, because now you're talking, you've got a lot of sugar on there because the honey, the brown sugar, it could burn on you. So you have to just kind of eyeball it. After 10 minutes, look at it.
It'll get too dark.
Yeah, it'll get too dark. You just don't want it to get that's what over caramelize is. It's going to get too dark, and it's going to have a bitter, kind of a burnt sugar taste. You just don't want that to happen. But mine went 30 minutes this time. So I was at my 3-hour mark. I knew that ham was ready. Pulled it off the pit, and you carve it up. Well, this is another reason why I like the spiral ham, is it's already sliced for you. It's attached to the bone. I guess their blade or however you ever seen that process? However they do those spiral hams.
Yeah, I've seen a video. They put it on a
spit
thing.
And it's got this blade that's set a certain depth, and it just rotates that ham all the way around it, and it's pretty cool. But it's the perfect thickness. I love it.
Yeah, it makes it so much easier.
To carve it does.
Serve.
So if you'll notice in that video, I take a knife. I use it's just that 6-inch boning kind of knife, and I circle the bone. You can find the bone in that ham, and you just stick that knife right in the side of it long ways and go around that bone. That frees up a lot of it. And then the way the muscles on that ham go together, they have that seam in them. And as long as you can see that seam, you just break it and take your knife and follow that seam down, and the ham comes off in perfect sections that's already sliced. And you do sometimes have to take your knife in between each slice just to free them up because it didn't get cut all the way. But it's the perfect guide to slice it. And then it looks like you've just carved this platter of ham. If you don't let nobody see that part and you just bring out the ham, they're going to think you got knife skills out this world. That's easy. That's all it is to it.
As far as coming off the pit, getting on a platter to serve, it's the easiest of all of it. Yeah. Hams, turkeys, briskets,
all of it.
Everything.
Yeah. It's ready to go.
It's ready to go.
How come you don't think they spiral slice more stuff? Spiral slice turkey, spiral slice. I don't know.
I guess it's got to be cured before they do.
Maybe. Yeah. I mean, it is. I'm guessing they do that after the fact, right? Yeah. They probably fully cook it
because it'll fall
apart. Let it cool,
yeah.
And then they go ahead and put the slicer in there.
I guess you could cure a turkey.
Yeah, I mean, they've got fully cooked smoked turkeys. I've never bought one of those.
Yeah, they could spiral slice those.
Yeah, I don't see why. The net, I don't know. You could probably, there's a way they could do it. The How to Barbecue Right podcast is brought to you by our friends at Primo Grills. Shell, did you know that Primo is the only ceramic grill made right here in the good old USA?
What? Are you telling me that Primo Grills are proudly crafted here in the USA, ensuring top-notch quality and support for local craftsmanship?
I sure am. Plus, Primo Grill not only delivers mouth-watering flavor, but because of their innovative oval design and superior ceramic construction, Primo Grills also gives you a ton of cooking versatility.
Whether you're smoking low and slow or searing a steak to perfection, Primo Grills gives you the consistent heat distribution for mouth-watering results every time.
What she said, y'all. Y'all visit PrimoGrill.com and check them out.
Well, this weekend is Easter.
It is. That's why I did the ham recipe. Y'all should be cooking ham for Easter. I don't cook turkeys for Easter. Easter's my ham day.
I don't think a lot of people do, right?
I don't know.
My dad does, but
Tyler's family does. They don't eat ham.
They're just weirdos in general. Yeah, no, 100%. My dad will cook turkeys for any reason, so
he's just a turkey junkie.
Yeah, loves it. Thinks
like
we
the
should
whole
cook it
turkey or just the breast?
Whole turkey. Thinks we should cook it more. He said it's crazy. We don't. It's such a cheap protein to feed a lot of people.
And it is a good protein.
Mm-hmm.
Have you ever gotten him the big breast?
Yeah, from Kevin, the butcher shop.
Well, I did it last year for the first time, and I told him I'm going to have to send him some.
Oh, so he's never tried it?
Not yet, no.
That'll change your turkey game right there. That's for me, that's a reasonably not substitute. It's a reasonable go along with it Easter with the center of the show ham.
Yeah, I think
have one of those big giant turkey breasts. I brought 4 of them back from Texas.
We're not going to talk about your turkey.
You know what everybody's wanting, right? Tuning in for today.
Reese's eggs.
Well, yeah, that of course.
Do you get that little Reese's egg I set out for you?
You know it. Like, did I get it? It was sitting there looking too good, asking me to try it. The dog was just licking his chops and watching me eat that egg.
That is the premium of all the Reese's shapes is the egg.
Yeah, I think I've said it on here before. It goes for me. It goes egg and then Christmas tree and then pumpkin. Well,
the football's pretty good.
And the heart. I don't know. But the egg is the creme de la creme of the Reese's peanut butter offerings.
I had to buy a 6-pack, a sixer.
Did you eat the other 5? Or?
No, they're in the...
So you must have hit them.
I did.
You got one little gremlin. If he finds them, they're all gone.
Well, he got his own sixer.
That's smart.
That's for a basket. Yeah.
How old were you when you quit getting Easter baskets? What's the age of that appropriate? Kyle, you got young kids, so you're still a full-blown Easter basket swing, but we've got a 15-year-old. I think it's a little extreme to still be getting a basket.
I'm going to get him a basket every year.
Are you?
I think in a certain year, my mom would just leave stuff out. Like it would be less of a basket, or if there's just something I'd been wanting, she'd just leave it on the counter, But
so what is everybody wanting?
They want to know who won this contest.
Oh yeah,
that's why people are tuning in today. We've had the biggest giveaway we've ever had, right, Tyler?
We did, and y'all turned out for this contest. Like I'm talking, I think the comment section ended up with over 300 comments, which is one of the bigger contests we've ever done. And y'all had some of the funniest, but also some of the weirdest. Like it made me think a lot to like get to why y'all would put it there. But I think we have our winner.
So,
drum roll, please.
That reminds me of Christmas Vacation so much.
So here's the deal. Before I announce the winner, we have a winner, but we also decided that there were some other pretty funny ones that deserved a prize.
We couldn't pick just one. Yeah.
So I'm going to make a video for the Let's Get to Cooking community a little on. It'll be posted later today. So if y'all want to see all of the ones that are, I guess, runner-ups.
Honorable mentions.
Yeah. Make sure
and
y'all...
they get something too. They're getting a prize pack too.
Oh, so we're going to send them some products or something.
Yeah,
something cool.
They're going to get a Killer Hogs prize pack.
But the main winner here is getting, first off, the Mammoth Upright Pellet Grill. That is a smoking machine. I mean, it'll cook some. It'll flat cook some stuff. So you're getting that grill, plus you're getting a sausage stuffer.
Yep. So you're getting a meat maker, 0.5 horsepower meat grinder. You're getting a 20-pound mixer, a 15-pound sausage stuffer, and a $75 HowToBBQRight gift card.
So you're getting you're getting the mixer, the grinder, and the stuffer, and the smoker. So not only can you just go into sausage production, you can cook, you can smoke anything you want on it.
Yeah.
Plus, hey, if you ain't grinding, you can grind your own ground beef now.
Mm-hmm.
You can make your own breakfast sausage, grinding up pork. You can process deer with it. I mean, you got this is
that's a great gift.
That's a great prize
I thought
pack.
it was just the grinder and the
no, you get the stuff for the grinder, the mixer.
That's why, and then we threw in the HowToBBQRight gift card to make sure that you got all the seasonings you need.
The only thing you got to do is buy some sausage casing. We don't have those.
We got sausage seasoning.
Yeah. You are good to go.
So, all right, we done drum rolled it. Which one did we decide was the overall winner?
All right, so the name of this guy that is the winner is Cody Roy.
Cody Roy.
Okay, give me, which one was it? Because I had a couple in mind that I thought were great.
Cody Roy did When She Pauses the Netflix, and it's a picture of you holding up a hot
Netflix wiener pig. That's what I called that one. That's the Netflix wiener. That one made me laugh hard. That was a good one.
There were some really good ones.
There was.
This was a great contest, and I love the idea, and I appreciate everybody who took the time to submit
Absolutely.
one.
Thank y'all for submitting memes. Some people were real creative, created their own meme.
Yeah.
There were some good ones. There were some really, really good ones. So we appreciate all the participation in that one, and we want to do some more too. So,
and I'm already gearing up for the next one. I will say I'm talking to a grill company about some more stuff. I'm not going to say anything else right now, but if y'all are not a part of the Let's Get to Cooking community already, head on over to facebook.com/H2Q community and join up. And
yeah, we like to give stuff away.
Love it.
Love it.
All right, so I got a question.
All right, what's the question?
From the community. I thought it was appropriate for Easter. Because it is for Kelly. She's doing a pulled ham for Easter dinner.
Mm-hmm.
She found some recipes to try, but she was just looking for maybe feedback on how you would do it. And she's going to be using a big green egg. So a ceramic grill.
The way I've done them, I start them out just like I did that. I don't use a spiral ham for a pulled ham. You don't want to do that. I don't even think it would shred right. I don't know what it would do trying to do it. I use just a regular fully cooked ham. They're always cheaper than the spiral ones. Usually, they're running them on sale right now. But I do like for the pull one, it doesn't really matter if it's shank or the bone-in part. Kind of the upper arm part or leg part. I guess it would be, not arm.
You can use any one,
but you could use either one. But they both work. Or you use a full one.
Do you have like a size that you're looking for?
Usually about 8 pounds, 8-10. That's always. I mean, I usually don't buy the whole ones, which is like the whole portion of the shank.
It's
and
a big old ham,
I don't buy the whole one, but I just use, it's either the shank or butt end, either one. The butt end, you're going to get more meat off of it, but it's not as pretty presentation. So, but if you're shredding it, it don't matter. You're not worried about presentation. So I'd probably go butt end and find me like an 8-10 pound butt end one. I started out in the smoke. You can put, if you want to put something on it, some barbecue rub, a binder, anything you want. You don't have to. I started out and smoke it first and get it going. Now it takes longer to
score it or anything.
No, I don't do any of that.
You just throw it on.
Yep, just throw it on. Put something on the outside of it, throw it on, get it smoking. When it starts warming up and I get all the smoke I want on it, usually it's about 3 hours and one chunk of wood because you can over smoke them. I'll take it and I'll move it to a pan, pour me some moisture in there. I'm talking apple juice, water, beer, whatever you wanted. It could be a pork broth. It's going to make, you got to think, so you're going to, whatever liquid you put in there is going to pick up a lot of ham flavor. So you really don't have to concentrate it with like pork flavor if you don't want to. I'll just use apple juice.
What do you typically, apple juice?
I just use apple juice.
Do you cut it with water?
No, I don't. I just go straight apple juice out the bottle. Like, about, I don't know, inch and a half in the pan, just pretty good moisture. Cover it in full. And then you're going to cook it until that ham lets go. So it needs to go up. You got to think, like, what does it take to pull a butt? It's close to 200 degrees internal. That's where that ham's going to be. Now, I've never, tempted. I've always just, so I'm taking 8 pounds, probably going to take about 7 hours, 7-8 hours.
So this is a long cook for
Yeah, it's a long cook. It's a long cook. I mean, you could smoke it the first part, put it over in the crock pot and finish it too if you wanted to overnight, but it takes a while because you're having to heat it up enough to where just all the internal fibers that's holding it together is going to let go. You got to cook it that far. So you're taking it really till that bone's jiggly, but, you can take it and shred it by hand. It just takes time. It takes a lot longer than you think it would.
Is that
it's even fully cooked, it still takes it a while to get up there and break down all the way to where you can shred it.
And then once you get it to that point, that shredding point, it's done?
Yeah, it's done. It's done.
Shred it,
I shred it, and usually I'll reserve some of that pan liquid. I don't use it all because I don't want my pulled ham swimming in liquid, but I'll use some of that same juices from that pan after I take it out. I'll let that cool a little bit. And if you wanted to fat separate it, you could. Probably a good idea just to get some of that, the greasiness off of it. Because when it cools down, it's going to get a little mouthfeel thickness. You know how fat does? I'll take that, pour off some of the fat, moisten that ham back up with it, and it's ready to go. And it's really, really good.
You're a big fan of it.
I do. You're not crazy about it.
It's a texture thing.
Yeah, because it is.
The flavor's good. It's just I don't like the texture.
Yeah, it's a little tighter than pulled pork because it's been fully cooked. So it's going to have how ham has a little tightness to it. It's not it's not tough. It's just a different bite, and you're going to get that. But it goes so good over with vegetables like greens, and greens and pulled ham and rice. That's a heck of a dish.
With some cornbread.
That says Easter to me, man. I'm down on that. Heck, I'd eat pulled ham and dressing. I bet that's good. I've never done it, but I bet it's good.
I try it. You got to have deviled eggs too. That's one thing you're missing.
Absolutely. Easter deviled eggs?
Yeah. We got to make some deviled eggs this weekend.
I'm eating deviled eggs this weekend. We didn't have, what we ain't talked about yet? Our master sampler.
Oh, yeah.
Did you share a pic of that?
Yeah. It was on the story.
Yeah.
I shared the video.
On the How to Barbecue Right stories?
It was Taste of the Master.
We had it. Yeah. We didn't go to Augusta. We brought Augusta to Hernando, Mississippi.
So what'd you think?
I was pleasantly, not say shocked, but I was pleased with what they sent.
I was too, because we've ordered stuff like this from like Gold Belly,
that's right,
type of companies before, and you usually get a lower quality. It's usually stale, things.
It's been frozen, processed. Yeah. There's a lot of process going on there.
I was
pleasantly surprised.
The chips are getting fresh. The little cookies are fresh.
The cookies, the caramel corn. So here's what we got. Was it 1 pound or those 1 pound containers?
I don't know. There was like a tub.
Yeah, it was a tub of Master's pimento cheese, a tub of Master's egg salad, and I'm going to say right now, I was wrong about egg salad. Say right now. And then a tub of Master's pulled pork barbecue. Now, and then it came with caramel, like 6 packs of caramel corn, maybe 6 chocolate chip cookies.
A whole bunch of chips.
It was more than 6 chips. It was probably a dozen bags of Master's kettle chips. It was plain and barbecued.
I think it was 6 of barbecue, 6 plain.
And then you got little Master's flags to stick in your sandwiches.
And
cups. And was that
posters and Was
that it? So a little swag type stuff.
Yeah.
That's what you got.
All right. What do you think about the pimento cheese?
Very, very good. Now,
I took them and put them on white bread, the freshest white bread I could find.
Yeah. Which was it Sunbeam?
No, I actually went, it wasn't Bunny.
Oh.
Yeah, it was Bunny. I think I went Bunny.
Bunny bread?
Yeah.
I like Bunny super soft. Split top or super soft? What's the difference?
I like the square top.
Yeah, okay. Not the split top, yeah.
Yeah, I don't like the...
Super soft. That's the super soft thing.
Yeah, I don't like the super soft.
No, that is the...
No, you know what I did? I went down the bread aisle and, started... squishing the tops.
I do that.
When I found the one that was like...
I don't care what brand it is. You just want it soft.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I mean, I had a couple brands. It was Wonder, Sunbeam, or Bunny. I was popping. Anyway, so I put it on bread, and then I did this with all of them except the barbecue. I put it on buns.
Mm-hmm. Potato buns.
Yeah. They specifically said potato buns.
So with the pimento cheese and the egg salad, you didn't have to do anything.
No.
They're
just spread it out.
Yeah. And was that froze when it showed up?
No.
So it's ready to go. You don't have to do nothing.
Yeah. It wasn't froze.
Yeah. So it came on a Friday and we ate it on Saturday.
Yes.
The pulled pork, if you like
it was not barbecue pulled pork.
No. It was more of institutional style.
It was barbecue sloppy Joe.
Yeah. It's sloppy Joe with barbecue. Yeah. I mean, it tastes like barbecue. The flavor wasn't bad. I
liked it.
Frozen. Anytime you buy frozen pulled pork, like Corky sells it, they sell it on QVC by the boatload. And you can buy it in grocery stores. There's barbecue, and it comes in a tub. That's what it tastes like. It tastes like somebody has really cooked some pulled pork and then mixed salsa with it, put it in a skillet, heated it all up.
I don't know
if you've ever had, like your mama's pulled pork where she'd rework it, like reheated pulled pork. When I met you, that's how your family ate it.
Yeah, that's why I liked it.
Barbecue. Y'all go buy barbecue, bring it home, throw it in a skillet. It was cold when you bought it. Cold barbecue, throw it in a skillet, pour sauce all over it, turn it into manwich or barbecue man.
Heck yeah, and it's delicious.
But that's what this was. So
smear a little blue plate on that bun.
Yeah, and it wasn't bad. I'm gonna say it wasn't bad. And it would do for pulled pork for somebody that don't know how to make
Yeah.
You can't compare it to a butt that you smoke.
No,
There's no compare.
They're not even the same thing, really.
But was it barbecue? Yeah. It tastes like if McDonald's sold barbecue. That's what their barbecue tastes like.
Yeah.
That's pretty much what it tastes like. Now, the pimento cheese was good.
It was good.
It was not as good as your pimento cheese, homemade.
Well, they didn't have the blue plate.
And they had zero seasoning in it. So you had to, once we added some AP and I put a little hot sauce on mine, it was hitting on really something then. That's all it needed. All it needed was a little pop of flavor, salt, pepper, a little garlic. And then it needed either jalapeno juice, because I think that's your little secret.
Yeah.
And your pimento cheese.
Jalapenos.
Yeah. But the pimento flavor was, it wasn't too strong. It was good pimento cheese.
Egg salad.
Was it better than palmetto? No.
I'd say they're neck and neck.
You think so?
Yeah.
The jalapeno palmetto is better than
yeah.
jalapeno. And then the egg salad.
I loved it.
I was totally wrong. Egg salad is delicious. It was
Theirs
good.
needed
AP and it needed a little hot sauce. But the ratio, it wasn't too eggy. It had a nice dill flavor. And it was good. So I ate a half a pimento cheese sandwich, a half of an egg salad sandwich, and a half of a pulled pork. I wanted to give it all a fair shake and a bag of the chips. And they were all good. I would, that's the first time I've ever celebrated the Masters or a Masters. I don't know who won. I didn't watch it on Sunday.
So now I want to make egg salad, but I want to add a spice element to it. I feel like it could use like maybe jalapenos or I don't know.
Oh, man. So that's what I was thinking.
It needed a kick.
The sweet fire pickles.
Ooh, okay.
Drain that, relish it by putting it in a food chopper.
Yep.
And then mix that in with the eggs. But what if you smoked the eggs and made smoked egg salad?
Does the smoke actually penetrate?
Yeah.
So do you boil an egg?
Nope.
Okay, you
just
put a
set it on the racks.
egg on a smoker.
We'll attempt it. And see. We'll make two versions and see. You know what I thought really would set that off, though? Some bacon.
Yeah.
Bacon egg salad?
Yeah.
God, that'd be good.
Because it kind of goes with it.
Breakfast,
eggs. Yeah.
But it was good. I'm wrong. I want to see if you can make now. I've never had it as good as that. So
that's your standard.
That's my bar.
Well, the main places I see egg salad is like when you go in these little convenience stores and they've got that, that little wedge sandwich thing.
That little triangle.
Like, yeah. That little weird triangle thing. And it'll be the egg salad. And I skip that every time.
Yeah.
But
one of those almost got me to quit the barbecue team one time. We'd had a horrible contest. We were coming back from somewhere really far away. Well, I was hungry. I was tired. I probably had wet shoes. I don't know. And something happened and we had to get a hotel like in the middle of nowhere, a sleazy motel, middle of the night. And the only thing I wanted was something to eat. And I got one of those sandwiches, went back to the hotel room, busted it open. It was moldy.
You had to pack some mayo. I remember that. You cried.
I did. I sat there
I want to say that was in Cookville, Tennessee. We were coming back from Galax years and years and years ago. And we went through all these mountain towns trying to detour around a wreck.
That's what it was. It was a major chemical wreck or something. Yeah.
Chemical spill on a tanker truck.
I was like, I'm done.
You quit the team. That was one of the times you quit. Yeah. Quit the team. Quit the team. Who just crying. I was like, baby, it's going to be okay. Mine went any better. I got a cheeseburger and I bit into it before we turned the lights on in the hotel room. It was just like the glow of a lamp or whatever. I was like, something's off with this. And I wish I had to turn that light on. I looked at it and that jugger had fuzz and all kind of stuff growing on it. So oh man.
Oh, God.
No, that's making me, I got to quit thinking about that.
Let's
talk about ham again.
See, that's mayonnaise saved me then because I opened up my sandwich to put mayonnaise.
See, it did. I just went raw, just straight burger. Not raw, but I cooked it in the microwave at the gas station. That should have been look. This was like 2 a.m. There was no options. Yeah. There wasn't something open. This was just like a seedy motel. We finally couldn't drive no more.
I don't think it's ever happened to me with cooked food before, but those little like donuts or whatever, chocolate frosted ones. So I opened those one time and I'd been eating on probably like 2 of them or whatever down the road. And then I looked into the bag for some reason. I think I just caught my eye and they were all moldy. And I didn't even know that those could get like, I thought that was one of those nuclear foods.
Yeah, like a Twinkie.
That's right. I've had that. It's sad that I've had that happen on more than one occasion. Coming back from a barbecue contest. Because when me and Waylon, we'd be coming, we always wanted to come back that night after the contest and we might be driving 6-7 hours and it gets pretty dark on the way back. Well, we had stopped and I got a pack of beef jerky. Like, you never expect beef jerky to be bad. And you're in the truck. It's dark. There's no lights. Lights of the radio and the dash. That's it. And I'm, opening up jerky and eat a piece. I was like, man, I don't know. This ain't a very good brand. I don't know what this is. I ate another piece and I was like, man, why don't I try this jerky? It ain't something ain't right with it. He's like, well, heck, I don't want to try it. Turn the light on. So I turned the dome light on and man, I don't know how I didn't see it. I was like, you never think jerky's going to go bad. It's got the little
big fuzzy.
It was all green at the bottom. And I knew instantly I was fixing to be ill. I just kept waiting on days for that to come home. Hey, miraculously, it didn't faze me. I didn't eat the whole pack. Now that's all of that I ate. But it was bad. It's bad stuff when fuzz is growing on it.
All right. So Heath, he says I guess he's building his own drum smoker.
Mm-hmm.
And he was wondering, for those of you who've built and painted your own drum smoker, did you use the high temp or regular paint?
We used high temp, like engine spray paint or whatever it's called. I think I bought it at AutoZone. There wasn't many color options. I think it was black or red.
I imagine you can get them online now.
Probably can, but it was just like I don't remember if it was Rust-Oleum, whatever brand they had at AutoZone. Probably used about 2 cans. I mean, it didn't take a whole lot. You put it on, and I don't think we didn't even you don't primer the drum or anything. We were buying these reconditioned drums from a place called Drumco in Memphis. And back in the day, they were about $15. Now you had to go through there and get up in this 18-wheeler trailer and kind of sort through ones that had dings and dents and find you one that was in still really, really good shape. And they were kind of like a gray or a dull black primer look.
Yeah.
And we just spray right over that with that paint, put a coat on it, let it dry, put another coat on it. It's good to go. I mean, it didn't cost you a whole lot. Now, is it the best? Probably not, but I've still got one to this day.
I was fixing
that old red. His cooking machine won a lot of chicken checks with old red.
I remember y'all made that first one, and then it worked out so well, you started going into production. You were making them for everybody.
Yeah, y'all want a drum?
Because it cost you like $30, $40.
Yeah, you didn't have nothing in it. Yeah, just a little time. We made a template to cut the stuff out. And that's when, not too long after that, Big Popper come out with their
kit.
And that really simplified things. And we sold, I don't know if we still have that. We used to sell them in the kits in the shop.
You had several that were really
It was just like the slides, the butterfly valve, and you got a basket. That was the hardest thing about making those drums was getting the basket right. And so I'd found a couple of different guys that were kind of doing fabricating around to make me some different ones. And we had some that were really heavy duty. And we eventually settled on just the Big Popper one. Was too easy because it was ready to go. It was worth buying that just for the fire basket. But they will flat cook and last a long time too. And then you got a burn barrel when you get tired of cooking on it. You gotta,
yeah,
it's repurpose that dude.
There's no telling how many of those old drums are floating out.
Yeah,
around here.
I just take them and leave them places. You can just hang on to it. I know where it's at.
So, couple people. Jamie wanted to know. Speaking of old cookers and stuff, Jamie wanted to know what happened to the new black barbecue trailer since you stopped competing.
It's sitting in my shop and in the farm.
If anybody wants to know,
it is for sale.
What has happened to something he used to cook on? He still got it.
Yeah. Oh yeah. I never sell stuff. I don't know if I sold my old red trailer I had. A guy that was doing catering, a friend that we'd become friends with since we opened the shop.
Yeah, but it wasn't because you made a Facebook post
No. I knew he was looking for something, and he was getting into doing some catering and food vending, and it was just set up for it, so it worked out for him.
Do you still have that old hog trailer?
Yep. Sitting down there too. Still got my HowToBBQRight trailer down there.
Jameson wants to know.
Still got my old Hickory
Still has
trailer.
your Jambo.
Still have my Jambo. It's doing real good. It's you don't want to see inside our garage. We have got so much crap in there. And the Jambo's in the center of it. So if I wanted to get it out, if the house caught on fire and I had to get that Jambo out, there's no way I could get it out. I would lose it. It would burn to the ground. It'd just be the pits in there. There's no way
to fix that.
Yeah.
So Kaylin is smoking 3 20-pound pork butts. Those are shoulders.
I ain't buying that.
Yeah.
No, you're not. Either here's what's happening. You ain't opened the package and realize it's 2. 2 10-pounders, yeah, you can do that's all day.
Or
But it's not a yeah, or you're cooking a whole shoulder. But I would bet it was a double pack pork butts.
So they're cooking 3 20-pound pork butts in a pellet smoker. How long should they plan to smoke them? Let's say
6 butts in a pellet smoker. It better be a mammoth, because they ain't gonna fit.
Let's say it's 3 shoulders. That ain't gonna fit either.
No, not. I mean, it's gonna have to be a big pellet smoker.
Let's pretend they have a big pellet smoker.
Okay.
What's the cook time?
If you've got a big enough one where air's gonna flow around it,
Do they
you
make
can cook them in 8 to 10 hours.
Can you think of a pellet grill big enough to cook 3 whole shoulders? I mean, I feel like the mammoth would even struggle with that.
Yeah, it'd be tight. I don't even think, I know my 640 wouldn't do it back in the day, though. I mean, they make some that do, but it's not like just a regular size one, like the Grilla, just like a regular Traeger or something like that, or like a regular Rectech. I don't think it's going to fit. It'd be tight. It's really going to take longer. And what's going to happen, see, when you cook it on pellet grills, you don't realize it. It's got that deflector plate that's always in the bottom of them. The cooking grate sets over it, and the deflector plate throws the heat out. Well, what it does, it throws heat out on the ends and on the front and back side, because that, it doesn't cover the whole thing. So when you've got those butts in there and you're trying to stack them, you don't realize you're way close to the back wall, way close to a side wall, and way close to the front, and you're going to nuke the edges of that thing. So really, it cooks best when stuff's like centered up in the pellet grill, and that's when they cook. They just cook the best.
Well, you got the airflow.
Yeah, and it reduces the airflow. When you got that much meat going in that thing at one time, I would say you need to keep it low, like below 250, and it's probably going to take you 14 to 16 hours. It'll take a long time. Because you've got so much mass in there, where you could cook 2 butts in 8 to 10 hours probably at that temp. So, but I mean, you can put a time frame on it. I would always keep them, like, for butts are best. You can go overnight with them, like keep it bound around 225 and have plenty of time to do it. Give yourself 16 to 18 hours, because they will rest so good in a cooler, especially like 6 of them. They will rest really good. They hold a lot of heat. And so I would do them. I would start it out at 225, give it some smoke, let that pellet grill really work to stay at 225. That way you're getting smoke flavor. And if you really want to speed them up, you could wrap them after about 8 hours, and then just stick you a probe in it and watch them. And when those jokers get up to 200, between 198 and 202, that's that sweet spot on a butt. And then let it rest for at least 2 hours in a cooler when it comes off, when it hits those temps. But man, I took some hunting with me and cook some for y'all. I let them jokers rest overnight. Like I took that, it's probably 1 a.m. and I didn't pull them till 8 a.m. No, it's probably 7 a.m. So what, that 6 hours? I let them go 6 hours.
At 1 a.m.
I pulled them off the pit that night, and we got up that next morning. No, it's probably 8. We got up that next morning. I said, I got to get these put up. So I wrapped them up, stuck them in the fridge, and then I pulled them. I messed up because I didn't mess up. Pulled them cold. It's harder to pull.
You didn't feel like pulling them at 8 a.m.
It's kind of sucks pulling them when they're cold.
Heck yeah, it is.
So if you pull them before you put them in the fridge, it works a lot better.
But did you see any problems with letting it?
No, not at all. It was delicious. And I called you when I got off got back in last night. I said, what's for dinner? And you said, you got options. You got pulled pork that I cooked 4 days ago, or I have a bit of cheese left over. I said, I'll eat some pulled pork. So I threw some in the microwave and made me a little sandwich last night.
I offered to make you a ham omelet.
Yeah. It was a hot honey ham omelet. We're eating leftovers, man. I wasn't here this week to cook.
That's what Michael got for dinner last night.
He seemed to like it. Omelet was gone. I love an omelet.
I can make a good omelet.
Are y'all omelet people?
Yeah, and actually this week my wife made a quiche, and I had never had one before, and I was kind of
quiche is an unfolded omelet to me.
Yeah, essentially.
Yeah,
it had like a potato crust on the outside, so it almost kind of tasted like an egg casserole, breakfast casserole. Something like that.
Yeah.
I'm down with that. You know what I like about those? You can put like spinach and tomatoes and all the stuff in the quiche.
Yeah, I think it was like spinach, pepper jack, and feta.
That sounds real good. That's very Eastery to me too.
Yeah,
like Easter brunch.
That's what I was thinking. It seems very Eastery.
Why do you think they call it quiche?
I don't know. I remember my mom made one, and we thought we were fancy.
Yeah,
when we were kids.
Just put a dollop of fresh cream on it.
Creme.
Creme, yeah.
Yeah, creme.
Creme fraiche or whatever.
Ralph, he said he did Mikey's winning MIN, Memphis MA wing recipe.
Mikey the Wingman Dyer.
Yeah. He did. He said that was one of the best wing sauces he's ever had.
It's dang good. He calls it, what does he call it? He calls it it's like his hot honey gold version. And it is good.
Mikey's.
Yeah. Because he uses, the base of it is that Cattleman's Carolina Gold sauce, which is like a mustard barbecue sauce.
That is a good sauce.
And you don't think of mustard when you think of hot wings, do you? It goes, that sauce goes so good on chicken wings.
But he does something else to it, right?
Oh, yeah. He adds hot sauce and wing sauce and Worcestershire. And he gave the recipe on a podcast a few years ago, did he? Now, did we ever cook that recipe with him?
I don't think we've ever done it.
I think that's where we gave it on a podcast or something. I remember getting questions about what the recipe was, and you got him to actually write it after that podcast. We were getting so many questions on it. So it is posted somewhere. You hate it, don't you? It's not one of your favorites.
Oh, no, I like it.
Oh, I thought you were not a fan of the hot honey gold.
I'm not a fan of the hot honey gold, but Mikey's is better than your average. It's still not my favorite.
Yeah.
It's still no buffalo,
Just regular traditional.
Regular traditional.
So winning wingman recipe.
But I do like that sauce, that mustard sauce.
It's good. It's good on all kinds of stuff too. I've done it with like just ribs, his wingman ribs. I've never done a video on it, but I've cooked them like that just because I like the sauce.
Yeah.
It has a barbecue note to it. I mean, because it is that Cattleman's, so you can imagine it tastes like kind of like a cross between a mustard sauce and a barbecue sauce is the flavor that's sweet, real sweet. And by the time you add the butter, the hot sauce, and all the other flavors that go into it, it's dang good.
It's very, I don't know if unique's the right word.
It's just different for a wing contest.
It's just different for a wing contest.
I mean, most people are cooking, I must tell you, the ones that have been winning around here have been the peanut butter jelly wing, which is it's not peanut butter jelly in the sense that you think. It's more of an Asian-inspired wing.
Yeah.
Because it has the soy element to it. So if you have pad thai before where they use a peanuts or anything they use a peanut sauce in, that flavor mixed with like a chicken wing flavor, and then the jelly is almost like a glaze instead of like grape jelly out of Welch's jar.
If you don't know what you're eating and you try one, you think Asian.
Yeah, automatically. You don't think peanut butter jelly.
Yeah. And it's usually really good, I think.
But that one, Mikey's gives that one a tip for tat every time they put them up against each other. And the traditional is usually not even in the top five. Which I don't know. I like all kinds of different wing flavors. I can't say which one's a favorite.
You've loved them, everyone.
Loved them, everyone. Like T.G. Shepherd said about his women.
So Tony, he recently moved from Memphis to New Mexico, and he's having a little bit of a hard time. The environment
from where now?
From here.
From Memphis to
New Mexico.
Yeah.
He's at 5,000 foot altitude. Mm-hmm. He's got a drier environment, and he's kind of struggling with some stuff.
I struggled at altitude when we were cooking hogs too. I found out it takes a lot longer than you think.
A lot longer.
And I think it has something to do with the way moisture is released from meat at different altitudes. Like we're almost at no altitude here where we're at. I don't think it's very high above sea level, but it slowed it down to me. And if you look at stuff on baking directions and stuff like that, things just cook different at altitude. So you're trying to render this meat with a higher moisture content, and what happens is it takes longer for it to go down, but when it goes down, it goes fast. So you're drying it out faster. So you have to watch it. But I think just going slow and giving yourself time, just know you're probably going to have to add time to it. Or at least we did. And I really saw it on like larger cuts, like the whole hog and the whole shoulders and brisket. And ribs, I really didn't notice that much of took longer to get them right. But definitely on the bigger cuts of meat where you're really, cooking them lower and slower and they're taking longer. And I guess you have the option to increase your temperature. When you get something wrapped up, you can increase the temp on it and speed that process up a little bit. But I think for me, the trade-off isn't worth it. I'd rather give myself more time than I had speeded up because the product just tastes better if it takes slower.
Is there did you ever experience any problem like getting the combustion to happen with the fire?
Oh yeah, we fought the fire more. We burned way more fuel. We didn't use we were using those backwoods water cooker hog cookers back then, and you didn't use near as much water. Water wasn't evaporating as fast, and so that should have told us right then. We didn't think about this till we took several before we figured it out, and it was really hard because we were practicing for like Memphis in May or these contests that were down here at our altitude, and we were like up in the Black Hills, practicing, or over in Montana cooking. And it was like one place where it was like 9,000 feet. Not only was I struggling to breathe at 9,000 feet, the hog was taking, what would take us 18, 20 hours was taking us 26, 28 hours.
Wow.
And so it was a big difference. It was a real big difference.
I remember y'all saying, it's going to take a little longer, and you calculating that into it.
And it wasn't, it's still, we had a group of people there ready to eat hog, and we were just like, man, we got to push now. So we learned that. We got it down, though. We learned that we had to increase the temp a little, and it was going to take a little bit longer, and we just worked that into our timeline. And then we come back down. We were cooking over Georgia, and the whole timeline's like, well, we're back to our regular timeline now, so we could adjust. But as long as you know what those variables are, you can kind of figure it out.
When you say we got to push now, what does that mean?
That means put the fire to our boys. That's what it means.
I usually say
put the fire to it.
I believe it's time to fireball it.
Yeah, it's time to fireball. You got to lean on that fire a little. That's all.
Get the full ready. We might need it.
Get the full ready. It'll do some wrapping.
All right, I got one more question for you. Martin's in the UK, and has a hard time getting the meats that he sees in the United States. That's common.
Yeah.
The only pork butt he can get is 2.8 pounds. He says that feels small.
Yeah, that's very small.
He's looking to do it on a Weber kettle.
You could do it. I mean,
it's actually good size for a kettle.
I've never cooked one that long, but it's a good size for a kettle, I guess. I mean, I've just never. I wonder if what they're doing is they're cutting those up. Like it's it's actually comes from the pork butt. It's just been cut. So it's different muscles. I have no idea, and I ain't scared to admit it. I have no idea how long that would take to cook. I really don't, because you can't say, "Oh, well, I cook an 8-pound pork butt. It takes 8 to 10 hours, so I'm looking at an hour per pound." Well, if his case, it's like, is it going to be done 2.5 hours? I doubt it, but it might. I don't know. What I would do is I'd probably probe it the very first time, and I don't normally probe from raw to go. But I would probe it. When it got to 160, I would wrap it. I'd keep my probe at it. And when it got up to close to 200, I would take it off. Now, how fast that rate's fixing to rock and roll, I don't know. Never tried it.
Would you do a snake method, or would you do like?
Yeah. No, I'd probably just do 2-zone on that, because it ain't going. I'd build my fire on the one side. I'd probably put a pan.
In your void?
Yeah. I'd put a pan in the void space and build my fire on the side of that pan, and I'd cook over that pan over on one side. I'd put me some moisture in that pan, like a little water, beer, whatever you want, apple juice. And then I would just have it to where a lot of those Webers you can flip up each side of them to access coals. I'd cook that one side, flip to open, and I'd start me out a good fire, try to hold it about 225, 250 and something like that, go slow with it, add me some wood as needed. I can always add more coals as those burn. I'd put me some fresh coals and keep it going and just let it rock and roll. I mean, I would, there's no way it's going to take like 6 hours. It's probably going to be somewhere around 4 or 5, but I'd go slow. And it might be that he's got like a collar trim cut over there where it's like that front part of the butt, which is delicious. The money muscle part is really good. If it's split in half long ways, I've seen them do that in some grocery stores. They'll cut pork steaks off of it and sell a smaller portion of a butt. But those typically still run 5-6 pounds. They're not, a little over 2.
Maybe they got
smogs there. Yeah.
Smogs.
Teacup pig.
Small hogs. Cooking teacups. Pot bellies.
I bet they're delicious.
I bet they're delicious. Yeah. Bet they're delicious. I lost my audio.
Well, that's all I have for you today, Mount.
Is that, so what's on our Easter menu? I'm going to cook another ham. Are you making macaroni and cheese? Deviled eggs?
I hadn't even thought about it, but yeah, definitely deviled eggs.
Definitely deviled eggs. I usually have dressing. We usually have dressing for Easter too.
I feel like
chicken dressing.
I need to do my macaroni and cheese. Let everybody remember who's the champ.
Top dog.
Who's the champ. That sounds good to me. A little lima bean action.
Yeah.
That's all you need. Oh,
I usually do carrots. I usually do some like bourbon glaze,
mhm.
brown buttery type.
They're so good.
Yeah,
too.
on carrots.
And the number one thing going with all of it, the rolls.
I love the rolls.
Ham and rolls. That's the best part about it. Deviled egg, ham and rolls. I'm a happy man.
And then
Fat,
you got all
fat
that.
and happy.
You got all that leftover ham and leftover rolls.
The rock and roll the next week after Easter. For what is so we got Good Friday. What do you call the Monday?
Only the kids get that.
Why is that?
That's new. I didn't get that when I was in
Heck
school.
no, we
That's
didn't get
crazy.
that. Better Monday, I guess. Better Monday. Because you're off. You got to do anything.
Yeah.
All right. Well, Tyler, do you want to tell everybody about the community and where they can check that out and get in these contests that we're having?
Yeah, so obviously the contest came from the Let's Get to Cooking community, but also some of the questions that Shell brought here today also came from over there. So y'all make sure you're hanging out this weekend. I'm sure all of y'all are firing up your grills for Easter, so share those recipes. And that's on facebook.com/H2Q community.
All right, Shell, where can they find you and I?
If you'd like to connect with Malcolm, it's HowToBBQRight on Facebook, Instagram, Twitter,
X,
TikTok,
yeah,
and of course YouTube. If you'd like to connect,
Snapchat.
do not hit him up on Snap.
You can watch my stories on there when I do them.
Do you Snap?
Sometimes I started to put this rattlesnake on there we got the other day.
That's a cool video.
Yeah, I'll put it on my Snap.
If you,
That's what the cool kids are doing,
I
man.
know.
I was hanging out with these young guys in their house. I was like, what are y'all doing? Snapchatting. I was like, I knew what it was. I was like, I really don't, that's one channel we don't use. And they said, oh, you ought to. That's how we all communicate. So I get snaps from all kinds of people now. It's usually funny stuff. And they don't last forever. So
Yeah,
if you
there's
do
no
one,
incriminating
Yeah,
evidence.
that's right. I think I never had anybody record one of mine, I don't think, but I think
Oh,
if you save it or something. Or Tyler, you're young. Do you do Snap?
When I used to do it, I knew that there were sneaky ways to not for it not to pop up
yeah.
that you were.
Oh, okay. Well, I'm not. Don't ask me for Snap advice. I'm not the man on that.
Snap advice.
They do have some pretty cool filters on there. You can do stuff.
Oh, my kids love it. They'll sit there for hours.
Well,
Happy Easter.
yep. All right. Well, and we'll see y'all
Have a
next
good one.
week, right?
Yep. We'll see you next week.
All right. We gone.